What? Ooh. Mute my mic. What's up, loser? My friends, my friendly losers, right? We're all losers here. Programmers, same difference. So, what is up? What are we doing today? I hear you saying. What is up? I'm gonna go ahead and put this. I suspect I could go ahead and put it right over here. I suspect that's where it could fit. I suspect that. So what are we doing today? Well, we're working on this. We're working again on the generator. So, or the Nether Star project. If you need a reminder, the Nether Star project is my project where I'm attempting to rebuild Minecraft's Nether terrain generator from scratch so I could get a perfect replica of Minecraft's terrain. It's going to be epic and crazy. This is where we are now. We are more than halfway done, right? So we have empty, surface starts, structure references, biomes, noise, and carvers done. The rendering stuff we're not doing because we don't need to render for pathfinding. We just need the data. Surface and futures are what we have left. So the purpose of this stream is surface, and we're not starting from scratch. I actually did a lot of work today, so we're mainly just coming in at the end and doing, well, not at the end, there's still a lot of other work I have to do for it, but honestly surface isn't that difficult. I thought it would be a lot harder than it actually turns out to be. And then futures, those actually are difficult. So okay, so what are surface rules is what we're doing today. Surface rules are what tell Minecraft what goes where. So if we go ahead and we look at Minecraft Nether, if we look here at the Nether, I think this is a pretty good, I think both of these images can be helpful. So you can see here in this image that over here there's the Crimson Nylium, I think it's called, and then the bluish, greenish, blue I think would probably be, I don't know, it's one of the colors, warped Nylium. And you can notice a few things about them. First off, they have decorations on top of them, like for example over here there's these roots is what they call these decorations. Like if you were to bone meal them, those are futures, not relevant right now. More importantly, the blocks, you'll notice a few things. First off, between biomes they sort of kind of blend into each other, right? That is caused by, what's it called? I forget what it's called. I think it's called like the Voronoi noise. I forget exactly. We have implemented that exact thing is in Biomanager. It is, if we go ahead and we 90, yeah. So this thingamabob here, get biome, this computation is what's responsible for doing this zigzagging stuff. And that's sort of what today is about. Today, not specifically that, but about the blocks. This is what surface rules is. Surface rules is the part of the game that determines what block goes where. It's very simple. In ores, not really its job. Its job is, as the name suggests, mainly the surface. So what biome has what block? It's the guy that says, hey, Crimson Forest has this Crimson Nylium. Warped Forest has the Warped Nylium. Soul Sand Valley, it has soul sand and soul soil in it. It's what says that. It's what says caves have netherrack. It's what says nether waste has netherrack. It is the arbiter of that truth. It is the maker there. And that's what we need to do today. So how does Minecraft do this? Well, it's actually really simple. It does a lot of functions, but in the end, it does this. There's a nether function that calculates a bunch of condition sources. A condition source is a boolean, or something that can be evaluated to a boolean. Minecraft can't decide if like this specific section, Minecraft is object oriented. It cannot decide in this specific section if it's procedural or not. It's sort of both, and I'll take it, right? Procedural is much easier to work with, even slightly procedural, over density functions any day. And I'll talk about why I say that in a second. So what we have here is the Nether, and it is a sequence, which, look at this, surface rules that if true. If vertical gradient, which is a condition, evaluates to true, do this. Or sorry, if it's true, bedrock. If this is true, bedrock. If this is true, netherrack. If this is true, then do this sequence. It's ridiculously simple. It's so simple. And I have all these implemented except for if true. So I'm using in Rust. And fun fact about Rust. In Rust, it appears the developers, maybe they don't have this in Java. There's actually a built-in operator called if, right? And what this does is, you may not know this, it actually can evaluate a condition, right? So if true is saying if this value equals true, then it evaluates anything in a code block below it. So I don't know, maybe the developers of Minecraft, I'm like at least 1% positive Java has the if condition. Though, you know, I can't be completely certain, guys. I'm not a Java expert. I'm not the best, you know. I'm not completely certain that maybe, I don't know. Of course, the if statement needs to be abstracted. Welcome to Java. Abstracting if statements. This is Java. All right, this is Java code. This is why I hate Java. This is why we're doing this shit in Rust. Okay, this is like I said this in one of my TikToks recently. If Java was the Antichrist, which it is, Rust is Christ. And I mean that. Rust is Jesus Christ. Rust is Jesus Christ. Rust is, people have been wanting the second coming of Jesus Christ for a while. Like, Christians, you know, only. I was gonna say mainly, but no, no. There's like Jews. I think. I don't know. I'm not into religion. Okay. I think Jews believe in God. No, I think Jews believe in Christ is what I meant. I don't know. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm ignorant. In this climate, I really shouldn't be so ignorant. But whatever. Point is, how are we here? How are we talking about Christ? Whatever. Let's get to programming. So, why is this easier than density functions? Well, if we look at density functions for the Nether. Oh, whoops, actually. Let's go to the Nether and the Nether noise router, or the density functions for the Nether, which is, where is that evaluated? If you look here, it's the Nether function in the noise router that does that. Is this it? No. Where are you? Show me where you are. The function's called Nether, I know that. Whatever, I forget. But basically, density functions are a tree of recursively stuffed. It's really, really complicated. And I had to, like, lock in and just, like, proceduralize the density functions. Eventually, that process. Oh, why can binary not be previewed, grep? Let me preview binary, right? Whatever. In the density functions, you can see here we have all of these. We have these, which eventually another. It's an 100 line. Okay, I don't know why it took so long to load. It's 100 lines. Here, these are the density functions. Right? For the Nether. These compute the Nether. These compute the noise for the Nether, which is the majority of the terrain for the Nether. It's 100 lines. It's referencing an arithmetic other one. But the amount of work that it took me to make this is unimaginable. The amount of simplifying. Like, this document of the density functions was like 1,000 lines. Or like, not 1,000 lines, but combined across all of the like 50 different files using the density functions. I would probably say like 1,000 lines, if not more than that. It was a ton of information that I had to condense down into a simplified procedural form. Which, if we look here, that's this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 lines. 6 lines of code are the final result. And this computes the Nether. You know, I wish Mojang programmed it in anything but Java. Why Java, bro? Like, I hate. Okay, and also here you can see here the magma here. This is dictated by. Actually, I don't think that is dictated by service rules. I think it's dictated by ore generation, which I believe is in futures. Oh no, I haven't gotten to ore generation yet. I was expecting it to be too hard. I looked at it and it looks like just a bunch of math, which I'm fine with just a bunch of math, right? Just a bunch of math is just sitting down, putting on a video, and just like looking over and just copying the math. Math is super simple, right? I love math. Math is super simple. Copying math is super simple, right? But surface rules, what makes it so easy is it's just a bunch of sequences, and we already have most of this. I think the only thing that I don't have implemented is vertical anchor.bottom. and vertical anchor dot top, though I think I can infer what those do. Let's just look and implement those real quick. So those are in the provider. If we go to vertical anchor, we have below top absolute and above bottom. What we want is return bottom. Bottom is above bottom 0. Top is below top 0. Okay, so it's literally just we can, so this is literally just saying what was it? Bottom is going to be an I32. Top is going to be an I32. Put these in the enum. Then we want to go down to, here we go. We'll go here. Vertical anchor colon top is going to take in, it's going to be an I32. We don't care about the I32. We're just going to get out 128. That's the top. Above bottom, what was it? Above bottom 0. Above bottom 0 just returns itself. So, or no, for top it's below top 0. Below top is 128 minus 0 minus 1 plus 0 minus num. So 128 minus 0 is 127 minus 0. So top is actually be 127, right? And then vertical anchor colon bottom. This is going to just return 0 because the bottom of the nether is 0. The reason why this exists, by the way, is because if you know in the overworld in 1.18, I changed the bottom to be like what was it? Y level 60 something, 64, I forget. So, all right. With that implemented, if we look here at surface functions, these are the functions. Super simple. It's only 215 lines, which sounds like a lot if you're not a programmer, but 215 lines is basically nothing. It's just this is like for density functions I'd split across like 3 files. I think one file only had one thing in it. I think so. I think they average out at about the same. And we have a lot of like here. These are just a bunch of constants. This is just a bunch of constants. So it's actually simple. So let's go ahead and just actually get started here. So let's go to surface function surface rules dot rs. It's like 30 lines. Why did it take so long to load? What's going on then? What are we taking so long for? All right, and we'll just ignoring this. Let's just do surface. Let's just do compute the nether, right? So that's what I call it in density functions. Keep up with the trend. So compute the nether. We're gonna go here and we're gonna copy this, right? So we're just gonna take the data here and we're gonna copy it. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this over here and then I'll share my second monitor on OBS. So let's do screen capture. Let's do. We want surface rules, not class. Window decomp vertical anchor. Yes. All right, here we go. So this is this on the left is if I resize this, there we go. Make that bigger. I'll make this smaller. So this is on the left is what I'm copying from. And so we could go ahead and we want this to be on surface rules data, which is what's responsible for actually doing that part. Let me go in full screen. Make sure you can see this. You can't really see it. I'll make it bigger. I'll put it over here. That might make more sense to put it over here. We'll make it bigger like that. We're actually gonna make it like this big because I need to be able to see it pretty well. All right, I'll make it pretty big. Right. So this is what we're copying. Let me make sure I can see that. Yeah, that's fine. All right. We'll make you this big. All right, let's do it. So compute the nether is going to take, as you can see, we have a bunch of absolute, we just have a bunch of initializations. So absolute 31, absolute 32, absolute 30, absolute 35, and by the way, I renamed these, so those aren't the names that were, the decompiled had pretty much nothing. This is going to take in literally nothing, right? Except for the context. It needs the context. Context, how do we get the context again? Where does it get the context from? I think it applies the context to this, so we need to take the context in, because what Minecraft does is it's assembling a hierarchy that it can later compute. What we're doing, one pass, we're just computing. We're not doing all that bullshit. So we actually need to include context. But when is context? I don't think we really care about that for this function. So we want to use surface rules colon self surface functions colon self expected a comma. Shut up. All right. What? Compute. Yeah, there we go. Okay. And we want to go to here, and we want it to. This is going to return a rule source. Or we're just going to have it return a block. I think that makes sense, right? Just a block for a position. The context is going to be, whoops, go to F that. The context here is going to be surface. It's going to be a, I don't think we, no, we do need a immutable reference to the surface context. And so let's go ahead and start. So we're going to say let absolute 31 equal surface functions colon y block check. This is going to take in the context, and it's going to do a vertical anchor. So we need to go ahead and include vertical anchor. Undo that. We need to go up here. We need to include that. That's going to be in util provider colon. We're going to include all of that, and we're going to go back to appso. Nope, we're going to go to appso. There we go. Okay, and we're going to go over here. Vertical anchor colon. What was it? Absolute. Right, and absolute at 31, as the name suggests. We're going to take 0 here as well. I remember that. Let me just move this so I can actually see that. There we go. Okay, and we're just going to, we have 3 of these. The third one is a Y start check, so you need to keep that in mind. So we're going to do this, this, this. All right, so we're going to go over here to 31. This is going to be 32. This is going to be 30. And on this one, we want to go to, what was it, check here. We're going to replace this withyblock start, which is a different function. Could not find yblock start. Wait, start check, I'm sorry. Okay, and this one is going to be at 32, so, or sorry, undo that. Replace you with 32, replace you with 30. See, these are all, oh. I'm so sorry, man. You know what? I apologize. I deeply apologize. I meant to replace you with 30. Whatever. Okay, next we have 35. So, surface rules.not. We don't have implemented. You're never going to guess what surface rules.not does. It takes the result and just gets the opposite. They abstracted an operator point operator to get the opposite. How do you do that? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? All right? What the fuck, right? So we're gonna do, alright. I don't know why I keep saying alright. Alright? Alright. Is it alright? I hope everything's, alright, I hope it's alright with you. I don't like, I hope it's alright. I'm just checking. I've had 3 cups of coffee. Let absolute 35 equal surface functions colon y start check. We're gonna do it at context vertical anchor colon absolute at, you're gonna get 35. And what is the other thing it has? 0 per usual, right? And this is gonna be, you're not gonna believe this. This is gonna be the hardest operation I think I've ever done. How do you go to the beginning? It's watch this. Holy shit. Right, we just figured out how to get something that's true and make it false. The absolute, we didn't even use an if statement, right? Just, it really is a beautiful engineering masterpiece there. Okay, let's do below top. I just called it below top 5. The names don't matter as long as they're consistent. Why is this guy messaging me? Like, why does he think I give a shit? I'm sharing my second monitor, best not. I mean, I can't do anything. I'm sharing my second monitor. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm not sharing my second monitor. Sorry, I'm paranoid. Whatever. Below top equals surface functions colon y block check with the context. We're going to say vertical anchored colon below top. It's in the name. 5, right? And then you're going to be 0. All right. We're not even doing a not operation. That's crazy. You know? Let whole. I don't really know what this means. I haven't figured out when it gets assigned this. That's in that function that actually does the like runtime computing, which isn't this. We get past the result. We're part of that. We get past a result that gets runtime computed. But a lot of these specific informations, the surface context, are calculated before we get there. So we're just gonna. I don't know why that space is there. So whole is going to be just equal to context or surface functions colon surface functions colon whole. This literally, there's just a variable inside context called whole, and it's just checking that. Super simple. Let sol sand layer. This is going to equal the first of the noise ones, so we might want to separate this. This is going to be surface functions colon noise condition, and we're going to take in a context, and the noise is going to be noise colon, and we can select whichever one we want. So noise is colon sol sand layer. We could just say sol sand layer, and it does the rest for us. And the min threshold is negative 0.012. Why is this not a fixed value defined in sol sand layer? We love Microsoft. Let me stretch. Fuck. Okay, gravel layer is going to be equal to surface functions colon noise condition context noises colon gravel layer, and it's going to give negative 0.012. And you know what? What's wrong? Expected through arguments found 2. Oh. Okay, we're just going to duplicate this. So we're going to do bye p. So that's for that. P. Okay, this is going to, the next one is going to be patch. So that's, yep, you're just going to be patch. The next one is going to be netherrack. After that, it's going to be nether wart. And then after that, it's going to be nether state selector. Alright, so we're going to go to patch. FG, we're going to replace you with patch X. Sorry, I'm still getting used to using Vim. Dude, one day I just woke up, like, I've been casually using Vim, like, here and there. Like, I used to program in VS Code primarily, but, like, when I was doing other stuff, I used to just use Vim. Like, if you saw some of the older ones, whenever I was going through, like, a config file or something, I'd open it up in Vim just because, you know, it didn't hurt, and it was more interesting than using, for example, Nano, which was just a boring editor, and, I don't know, I thought it looked pretty cool. So, yeah, I did that. And then one morning I woke up, or not one morning, like the day before, I was like, because I'd been using Vim a little bit because I was going through some config files. I remember thinking, wow, like, I bet, like, I wish I was in Vim, right? And then the next day I woke up in VS Code, and I was thinking to myself, I don't want to use this shit. And so I installed. I got NeoVim, I got the Kickstart, I got a bunch of configs, And here I am. It's been 2 days, 2 or 3 days, and each morning I wake up, I'm better at it, and I suspect here by the end of this project I'll be pretty damn good at Vim, and that's sort of what I've been liking about this so far, about this project, is I'm learning a lot from it. So you know, I'm actually getting pretty good at not just a lot of stuff. Like this project is the first real project where I've used hold on, 0.54, 1.17. The first real project, you're 0.0, so we'll do the first real project where I've used Rust, right? And I love Rust. Like, I like it a lot. This is probably my favorite language. So, you know, I've been learning a lot. NVim, Rust. What else? I think, unfortunately, Java, too. I think that's also for, like, unintentionally being sort of put in my mind. So, that's unfortunate. So. Next is gravel patch. This is going to equal a rule that can be calculated. So it is true patch. Okay, so let's do this. We're going to do, it's going to equal if patch equals true, which I'm going to explicitly write equals true for this, just so that we're perfectly clear. Then we're going to do another if true. Absolute 30, and we're going to do, so if absolute 30 equals true, then we're going to do if absolute 35 equals true, then we're going to do gravel, right? We're going to set this to block state : this is going to be gravel. So how about we just make this true? And then here we'll do false. How'd I get here? What does final even mean here anyway? And what does final, yeah, what does final mean in Rust? Because I keep getting conflicts with it. What does final mean in Rust? There is no final keyword. Final is indeed a keyword. Apparently, it literally doesn't do anything. It's just a reserved keyword. Interesting. Okay, so gravel patch is, for us, a boolean that's either true, either nothing, or block. So I guess we could do that. So now we have a sequence. This is going to be how things are calculated. So we're going to do this. Let's go ahead and separate these. Okay, so we need to add bedrock to our block list. So let's go to blocks, and we're going to add... I have indestructible, but that's more so just like generic. So we're going to add bedrock here. So we could go back, and we can just say... So we could start. So the block. So if true, the if true returns bedrock. I'm suspecting... it doesn't actually return. Is it subject to change after? So I'm looking at here. Sequence rule source. For each, we apply it to the context. Okay, so I was wrong. From what I can tell, it actually is doing that. So if this is true, if this condition passes, return it. We're done here. This is the thing. We've done it. So, for example, if true, if it passes this, you know, we're just returning. So we're literally returning this function with it. So let's get started. This is going to be pretty much just mind-numbing work from here on out. So I wish my monitor wasn't so tilted. Shit, it'd be easy to look at. Okay, let's do this. So, if surface functions : vertical gradient bedrock floor vertical anchor : bottom. The number here doesn't mean anything. Actually, that's like there shouldn't be any number here. So we want this to be nothing. So we just want to get rid of these. Right, and so we want to go here. Bottom. Then we're going to do vertical anchor : above bottom 5. So if this returns true, then return bedrock. So next. It's complaining. Let it. So here's what we do. To shut up the compiler, what I usually just do is at the end here, bedrock. I'm just going to put a thing, an implicit return at the end until we're done with the function. That is a bit unsafe, you know, in case we forget to remove that, but it's not a huge deal. Oh, mismatch type is expecting string, and we found a static one, so we could just say toString. Rust, as far as I understand, has no implicit conversions. Not even one. Actually, let me look that up. Does Rust have any implicit conversions? I think it doesn't. Has no implicit conversions whatsoever. Wow. So it doesn't have any implicit conversions. That's cool. So next, if surface functions : vertical gradient, again, and this is going to be not using the highly complex unary operator that is the exclamation point. Context bedrock _roof dot toString vertical anchor, colon, below top 5, and then vertical anchor dot top, or colon. So if this is evaluated, this expression is evaluated to be of the true variety, we're going to return bedrock. You may be asking, how is that scattered and squished about? Well, I'm glad you asked. The answer, I have no fucking idea. I don't think it's handled here. This certainly. Vertical gradient. Right, vertical gradient has a gradient using random noise, right? So that's how it handles it. Okay. Sorry, I lied to you. I do know, because I just did it. Next, we're going to do if below top 5, then return netherrack. Alright. If, okay, we have a few nested ones. So if biome is basalt delta, so we're going to do if surface functions, colon, is biome, and we're going to give it the context, and we're going to give it a list of biomes. So this is just going to be a list saying biome ID, colon, basalt delta. So if it is a basalt delta, what are we going to do, I hear you asking? Well, we're going to do a sequence. So we're going to do if surface rules if surface function colon under ceiling then basalt. Then we want to return block state colon basalt. The bool found at under ceiling. Oh, we have to actually if surface functions colon under floor, then we want to do a sequence. Gravel patch. Right, we just need to execute gravel patch. So if it's true, right, and so yeah, so it's either going to return gravel or nothing. So we need to do if gravel patch, then gravel there. So block state colon. We don't have gravel. That's weird. How do I not do that? Not gravel. Blocks. We need to add another block. Gravel. We love gravel so much. I'm lying. I don't like gravel. I don't like fucking gravel. Expected 1 argument. Found 0. Why does underfloor expect an argument? Context. Right, it needs the context. Okay, we're going to return gravel if gravel patch is true. Out of the whole gosh dang darn thing. 0 arguments were supplied. Have I go mentioned you go fuck yourself. So if it's gravel, we just return gravel. So then we do if nether state selector then basalt and then if we don't return, then we're just going to do block state colon blackstone, which I don't have yet. We're adding a lot of blocks here. I keep getting disoriented. Alright, so that's the basalt deltas. This is literally how the basalt delta, this right here, this is the basalt delta. That's the basalt, these, what is it, like 8 lines of code are responsible for the basalt deltas. So that's pretty cool. Next, we are going to do Soul Sand Valley. So if surface functions colon is biome context, we're going to do a reference to a slice that just says biome ID colon Soul Sand Valley. The reason it's a slice, by the way, is in the documentation it can have multiple values, though it usually just doesn't. So, like, for example, I could check if it's multiple biomes, like if it's a plains, or if it's a birch forest, for example. But I don't think the Nether actually ever uses that. But I don't know. That's maybe if I want to hyper optimize it later, I could do something. It doesn't really matter. So if is biome Soul Sand Valley, then if true. So we do if surface functions colon under ceiling, then we have another sequence if nether state selection, then so I was wondering what nether state selection appears to be. It looks like it's a bit of a weird name. Maybe they're just, you know, narcissistic. that's my best guess. I'm joking. It's just it appears to be a random decider, like a tiebreaker, effectively. So it's what decides soul sand over soul soil. So if nether state selector, then we just do return block state colon soul sand. Else, we're just gonna do, or not else, we're just gonna do soul soil, because it's like naturally an else, because yeah, I think I get it now. If it's soul sand, then it literally terminates. Like the sequence is over, it's done. Okay, now we have to do underfloor. If surface functions colon underfloor with context, then if we have to do gravel patch. So we have to do if gravel patch, then return block state colon gravel. Very simple. Then we do if. I did just click in New Vim, I believe. Wow, I'm sorry guys, that must have been traumatizing. Nether state selection, then block state colon soul sand, else return block state colon soul soil. All right, and we want to add a return here. Oh, my hands are getting tired. All right, this is what I don't like about tedious coding. It's just I'm just writing stuff. It's simple. It's just mind numbing. Though, you know, I would take this any day against you. Oh my god, this one's complicated. Not complicated, it's just a lot of stuff I have to write. Alright, I'm gonna get a cup of water before I do that. All right. Cool. Hold on. I need to make this the right size. Is that the right size? That's the right size. Okay. So let's do this. Sorry for not talking. I just you're seeing it, right? I don't have any commentary to give right now. This is what's happening. This is the creation. This is it. Warped warp block. You learn something new every day, okay? Warped warp block is what we have to make now. So it's going to be... If you're wondering, by the way, like some of my keybinds, I guess I can sort of walk through them. So I'm doing space, which is leader, whatever it's called. S for search, F for file, and I can search for a file. A block is the file. I press enter. I want to add something below my cursor, so I press O to go a new line below in insert mode. And I want to add warped, and this is just normal typing. Warped warp block, and then nether warp block. And then I do this, then I do caps lock, which is bound to escape, which is, it just gets you back in insert mode. I'm going to do shift semicolon to get a colon. You can see at the bottom of my screen I'm actually typing a command. W, enter, that saves the file. Then I do space shift, space SF again to search. I'm searching for surface, what's it called, surface rules to RS to go back where we were. Enter, and then here I want to insert to the left of my cursor, so I for insert. And then if it's true, then we want to do block state colon warped warp block, otherwise warped nylium. So you see I did that again, which was just saving. And then to go down, I'm pressing J to go down, O to insert a new line. Otherwise we're going to return block state colon warped nylium, which we don't have. So I need to add that. So we're going to go back to block, and we're going to go ahead and do the same. So we're going to add warped nylium to the enum. And then we have nether warp, so we're just going to add crimson nylium. We have to be careful not to add more than 255 blocks. That sounds... You know, I'm not an expert, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to need far less than 255. Because 255 is the maximum amount of information or number that can be represented in a single byte. 1 byte, 8 bits. And this enum, I have it, if you see at the top, pointing at it like you can fucking see it. Over here, this is saying I don't know what repr means. I don't know why. Well, I know what it means, but I don't know why it's called that. Maybe reprogram? I don't know. But it's basically saying this enum is represented with 1 byte. Here, U8 means the type. I could replace this with I8. I don't think it would change much. Whatever. I can also do, you saw me, I did control 6 there. That just brings me back to the previous file I was in. So warp to Nylium is that. If not Netherrack. Okay, well, what I like about this is it's like, this is easy to follow. I like how easy it is to follow. So this is, looks like this next one is almost exactly identical. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do Shift V to select the whole line. Keep going down. Once I have it, Y to yank. Then I'm going to go down to here, O to go here, caps lock. What am I doing over here, guys? Come on. Come on. P to paste. W equals to format. I'm going to go here, DD to delete that indent. Then we have basically the same thing. So if true, no, that's wrong. We copy pasted the wrong thing. Yeah, so we want to copy and paste all this. I'm going to go to line 88, or 89, I should have done. And do this, equals to format. And then we're going to go where it says warp forest. I'm going to do F to search for the file, W. F, or not file, W. Oh, F, Shift W, because it's capital. To go to the next occurrence of the letter, then I'm going to do V for visual mode. I'm going to do E to select to the end, D to delete, I to go before my cursor, right type Crimson for, and it seems like a lot, but you get used to it. It took me a while to get used to this, to the point where I could like actually program in it without being a complete fucking disaster. But like, this entire time, I haven't touched my mouse in a few minutes. Like, my mouse is just, I'm gonna turn my mouse off, I'm gonna put it on my bed, and I'm not gonna use it until I absolutely have to. That's how confident I am right now. Okay. So we have Netherrack. If not Netherrack, then we're gonna do if true. Absolute 31 in surface. Then we're gonna do Netherwart. So we're gonna go here, select back, DI, and then we're gonna do Netherwart. Oh, if true Netherwart, then we're gonna do Netherwart block. And now we're gonna do Netherwart block. And this is, I have to use my mouse to scroll on idea to see. So, you know, rest in peace idea, yeah. We're just gonna do Crimson Nylium here. And I'll check. So there we go, I typed all that without my mouse. Let me go get my mouse back. See, like my mouse, you can see here, that red means it's off. I'll turn it back on though. So, you know, do actually need my mouse here? Whatever. So let's check. Was I right? Netherwart block, Crimson Nylium. Yeah. All right. If true, on floor. Okay. So next, we're doing the Nether Wastes, and that's the last one. You can see the last entry here is Netherrack, which means Netherrack is the contingency. If nothing else, Netherrack. I don't know why I clicked into Vim just now, dude. I talk about, oh, I can do this, not my mouse, but and then I click into fucking Vim. Like, I love, sorry, by the way, like, I used to use Windows. I tried using Vim. I couldn't. It was hard to caps lock, to bind a caps lock. So it's like a single binding in your config, and it just works. See, I'm pressing this. It's like kernel level. Like, it's not just a wrapper. It's like kernel level. Like, my caps lock, like my caps indicator isn't going on, which is fine. I don't use caps lock anyway. I used to use it a while ago, but I don't use caps lock for its actual purpose of, you know, locking my caps. Okay, so we're gonna do another if surface functions colon is biome context is going to be nether biome colon nether wastes. Then, so if it is, this is why I love procedural code so much, Mojang. Please do more of this. It's so easy to understand what's happening. It's just, it's almost plain English. Like, come on, guys. Whatever. I know they have some reason, like data packs or whatever, but I don't give a shit. Okay, so if it is, then we're going to do another sequence. So if surface underscore rules, or if surface functions colon functions colon under floor whoops. Okay, if under floor, then if soul sand layer then if not hull, then if absolute 30, then if absolute 35, or absolute 35, then soul sand. Alright, then we have to go back to the if not whole. And then after that we're going to do return block state colon netherrack. Alright, next we're going to do if surface rules colon on floor, or surface functions colon on floor, then we're going to check if surface functions colon oh no, that's just absolute 31. If absolute 31, then if absolute 35, then if gravel layer, no, if gravel layer, that's like that. There's two. Is there two gravel layers? There's gravel patch, and then there's gravel layer. Okay, right. Sorry. Right. So I'll go to here. By the way, I have it bound. So double quote brings me to the end of the line, and then double single quote brings me to the beginning. So if gravel layer, then we want to do if absolute 32, then return block colon gravel. Now we do if not whole, then see, I wish the indenting was better. Like, I don't want to do that. Is there a way to have that? I'll just do this. Return block state colon gravel. Right, and then otherwise this whole thing fails. Right? And then finally, at the very end here, instead of implicitly returning bedrock, we are going to implicitly return netherrack. And this magnificence, right? This function, look how big it is. Damn. This thing is responsible for the nether, and it's just a big sequential procedural thing. Honestly, I love it. I love it, Mojang. Do more of this. If you write the density functions like this, I will be very happy. All right, do this. We love this. This is great. It's very simple. It's just a series of checks, a series of yeses, a series of nos. Literally, most of it is just booleans. It's just a bunch of booleans. It's brilliant, right? It's a brilliant, brilliant thing. Thank you. Do more of it. God, please. Well, that's the end of the stream. That's all we were doing today. That's literally it. Just the tedious task of translating this. It was really simple, honestly. Surface roles, I've been liking it so far. It's been real easy, so I don't suspect